Hey, welcome to our third episode of Bridging
Bridging
the
the
Gap
Gap.
Live. I am Stephanie Morgan.
And I'm Charles Morgan. And together we're
We're
bridging the
bridging the
gap.
gap,
Well, together we're bridging the gap.
the gap between Christianity and real life.
Yeah. And faith, business, everything.
Yep, and today we have one of our favorite topics that we're talking about. So you want to stay tuned, and we have a free giveaway for you at the end.
Mhm.
So, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about travel, tips, tricks, and everything in between. So we're talking about travel, which is one of our favorite things to talk about because it's one of our favorite things to do.
Definitely.
Let's start out with this one. Where is your favorite place that you've traveled in your life?
My whole life, I
Your
would
whole life.
probably say Egypt,
Okay.
um, because that was so we went with my grandparents and my aunt. We went to Israel, and what they did not announce was that we were going to take a side trip to Egypt. So immediately you're driving through the desert. And I didn't realize there was such a vast difference. We saw Bedouins who were like wandering people in the desert.
Absolutely.
And then we went to Mount Moriah or Mount Sinai, where Moses got the tablets.
Mm.
And I got a soda. My mom loved Coca-Cola.
Okay.
So I got a Coke bottle, and that was the first place where I ever experienced differential marketing
Okay.
because
Ooh,
they're
see that you sound like you're almost a doctor there. You sound differential marketing. We know you have your master's degree in business. Differential marketing. That's another podcast for another day.
but their Coca-Cola bottle was shaped like a Coca-Cola bottle.
Okay. Like a
So I
Coke bottle.
Yeah, whereas in like the United States at that time, I feel like we had like glass bottles or something. Like it was a
Mm-hmm.
different, there was not that Coke bottle shape. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, wow, they're selling same product, but different packaging
Okay.
to meet the needs of the country that they're in. And so
Absolutely.
I bought my mom a Coke bottle and she never drank that Coke.
Are you serious?
She never drank it. It sat on her dresser.
My mom has a Coke bottle and her kitchen in the cabinet and I don't even know where. I think it says like Atlanta. It has like some words on it, and it's sitting in the cabinet. Maybe that's a thing
It must
that our
have been.
parents do,
Yes.
or have done.
Yes.
All right, so Egypt,
What about you?
Israel.
That was
When I was able to go to Israel, Jerusalem, Masada, when I was able to, float in the Dead Sea,
There
that
is nothing
there's
like floating in the Dead
people
Sea.
people don't understand. You go on that trip, you walk where Jesus has walked, and it transforms your
Yes.
whole life.
Yes.
So you got to do it at a younger age than
Mhm.
myself. I got to do it. I was a little older, but it was transformational.
But your trip was how much?
My trip was free.
Say it one more again.
My trip was free.
One more for the people in the back.
My trip was free.
Entirely free. And
Yeah.
that's what today's podcast is about. You hit the most, you hacked this whole system.
Yeah, I knocked it out the park.
Yes.
I'm already out there in the bleachers.
Home run, man.
Bam, home run.
And sometimes people think that traveling is a very expensive thing.
Right.
But the tips and tricks that we're going to share today, they're going to blow your mind.
Absolutely.
So we've been together for 22 years.
22 years, married for 17.
But we've traveled ever since we met.
Listen, we've been we've been to Puerto Rico together. We've been to not Turks and Caicos. We've been to
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. We've been to the Bahamas several times.
Mm-hmm.
We've been to Texas. We've been to we've been to so many places, so
Mm-hmm.
many islands. We've been on multiple cruises.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone to Mexico multiple times, Cancun. Listen, we've traveled the world.
That's what we do. We travel and eat
We
and
travel,
laugh.
we eat, we laugh, we take in the culture, we
Yes.
experience the people, and we have a good time.
All on a budget.
All on a budget,
So
on a good budget.
we are like, we have a, and for lack of a better phrase, we have a wanderlust. And
Uh-huh.
that just means you're someone that likes to travel.
Okay.
And it is a commonality that we share.
Right.
And so we're going to give you some tips and tricks.
Absolutely.
So the first thing we want to talk about is airlines and purchasing airline tickets.
Absolutely. Now we have there's going to be a download at the end. So everything we tell you today, you'll be able to download and get that information. You don't necessarily have to take notes right now if you just go get the download. But one of my favorite, I don't know if you want to go through them one to
however you want to do it.
But one of my favorite tips, and this is something we used to do when we had a little bit more time on our hands, is to actually go to the airport. So you would drive me to the airport,
Yes.
and then I would hop out, go to the whatever kiosk, and purchase my plane ticket right there
at the airport.
And I could be traveling 2, 3, 4 months from then. But the cheapest way to travel is to go right to the airport and purchase your ticket at the kiosk.
So whether you're
going US, whether you're going Delta, Spirit, Frontier, whatever. I know everybody don't like the budget airlines, but they're a budget for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But wherever you're going, you're gonna get a steep discount if you can make that happen. And that's something we were able to do for a couple of years. I'd be like, hey babe, you have an hour, because we lived in Silver Spring at the time, so BWI wasn't that far. So I would say, babe, you have some time real quick to run me to the airport and grab a few plane tickets.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's the taxes that you avoid or something. There's just a discount, and you used to call the airline and ask them, hey, how much are your tickets?
Right.
And then we'd be like, all right, let's go to the airport.
Well, the first thing I would do is one of our tips is I would first search online.
Okay.
So what are some of the places that we search online for plane tickets?
So we probably should go in the order that I have.
Okay, let's go in your order.
So the first thing is you're going to turn your computer browser to incognito mode.
Incognito mode. If you don't know what incognito mode is, that's what Google is for.
Right.
You go look up how to search on my web browser in incognito mode, and there will be step-by-step tips how to do it.
And what that does is it stops the airlines from seeing that you are trying to buy a ticket and stops them from hiking the prices up because you keep going back. They're like, oh, they really want this ticket.
So every time you search, so you may say, hey, I want to fly in December of this year. So you may have started searching in February. You may have looked again in March to see what the ticket price is. You might say, hey, it's April. Maybe it's about time to get my ticket. But every time you go on there, they are tracking you, and they are tracking the fact that you want to purchase this ticket. And because of that, the prices are fluctuating. They're going up, 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 which causes you to say, hey, I better hurry up and purchase this ticket now before the price goes any higher. So the first time you see it may be $250. Second time might be $275. Third time might be $300. And eventually you'll say to yourself, hey, I need to hurry up and do this before I'm at $450, $500, or I may be priced out of my trip.
Right.
But the way to get past that is to search in incognito mode, and then to go look on the browser. So what are some of the browsers we look at?
So if we are, let me just, we got to go down the list because it's going to throw me off.
You're so systematic.
First, we got to travel during the off season.
You got to travel during the off season. Many people try to travel during spring break. One of the worst times to travel.
Horrible.
And you don't travel during spring break. You really shouldn't travel during the summer.
No.
The summer is terrible. All the kids are out, so of course prices are hiked up. Like we travel in March. Thank God, we thought ahead.
Yep.
We thought way ahead, and we got married in March, which is
And off season
off
for
season.
everything.
Yep.
So our wedding was cheaper than it would have
Yep.
normally
Our
been.
honeymoon was cheaper.
And now when we go to celebrate our anniversary, we a couple years ago, we got tickets to Hawaii for like $378 per person.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
don't find tickets that cheap unless it's off season and you're doing the tips that we tell you to do.
Well, it took a lot for us, and no, people don't know. Some people may say, hey, they must have purchased those tickets
No.
to 10 months before. No, we literally purchased our tickets 1 month before we
Yes.
went to Hawaii.
Yes.
And by using the tips that we're telling you,
Yep.
we got our tickets for like $375, $400 to go to Hawaii.
Yes.
And we had a layover, a 2 hour layover in
California.
California. And it was a great flight. We
It
had
was
an
wonderful.
amazing time.
And so travel off season.
Travel off season.
One of the things that I do is when I'm laying in bed, I will just pull up an app and I will start scrolling for tickets. And so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the next thing you may want to do is become an airline credit card holder.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can use points. You'll accumulate points every time you use that card, and then you can use those points to purchase your tickets.
Yeah, they say consistency is key.
Mhm.
So consistently use the same airline or the same credit card, or there is something that goes along with you being consistent with one company or one individual that will help you to succeed. So you definitely want to get like American Express, Chase. You want to get a specific credit card that's a travel credit card that is going to be able to accumulate points because it's going to help you later on.
Then you want to use American Express to purchase your tickets if you have an American Express because they insure your tickets.
Certain American Express products will insure your purchase, and it also will give you travel insurance. So that's essential. So now you need to go and call American Express and make sure that your card is one that actually covers that. Because I don't want you to come back and say, on Bridging the Gap, they said my credit card and you got the American Express Blue, or you got the Platinum, maybe Gold. So find out from your credit card company if they insure it. I know that, I found out years ago when my uncle was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro that certain American Expresses will cover emergency evacuations from, like if you're climbing a mountain or if you're going skiing, if you're skiing and you fall down the mountain, they'll cover up to 16, don't quote me on this exact number. They'll cover the helicopter, the emergency evac, the emergency hospital, airplane ride, and all that stuff. So, but you find out from American Express, because that is a pivotal. I mean, imagine, something happens to you on a trip, and imagine how quickly though that amount can accumulate. Imagine, if you get into an ambulance, that's a fee. So imagine getting in an ambulance in another country. They're going to hike that up. They're going to hit you hard, and you'll be paying for that trip for a long time.
Yes. And then if you don't have credit cards, you can use, or if you do, you can use Affirm. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's like a pay as you go.
Yeah.
Affirm. And then there's also for airline tickets, there's Flex Play. And so, you'll pay, say your ticket is $800. They may ask you for $100 today, then $75 every month until it's all paid off.
It's putting your trip on layaway. Y'all remember James Way, Ames? Y'all, most people
you
that watch this
yourself.
About my age, I ain't go to Woolworths and stuff, but you put the trip on layaway. You're gonna pay a little bit extra. Woolworth was $5 and $9
because they have food in there.
Oh Lord!
And they could shop, and then I'm like, can we get a hot dog?
Jesus.
But anyway, I like to eat.
That's where Sam's Club must have got it from. So yeah, you could put it on a layaway. You put your trip on layaway. You're going to pay a little bit more. So that $375 or $400 ticket, it's going to be more like 600.
No, not that much.
It's going to be some more money with
Yeah.
interest. So be ready. You pay interest before, so you know what's going to happen if you want to pay on FlexPay.
Yes.
All right.
Then when you get into, so you buy your tickets, right? So
Yeah.
now you're ready. You got some of that. And then when you get to the airport, we're going to cover hotels later. But when you get to the airport, you don't want to just sit there with the common people.
But you know what? I forgot a little something real quick.
Yeah.
One thing you need to do, if you don't, you may not have a credit card, or you may say, hey, my credit is jacked up. You know, and I don't have American Express. I don't have this, and that. You can get travel insurance separate. Okay. There are there's several companies. You just go online, go on Mighty Google, and you can look up travel insurance, and you can purchase travel insurance separate.
Okay.
So, you know, just in case you don't have a credit card and you're working and building your credit, make sure you get travel insurance, because
that covers your trip if you can't go.
Yeah.
That's what travel insurance does.
Travel insurance will cover it if there's a medical emergency and you can't go on if you miss your flight on your cruise and things of that nature, you know. And for a cruise, great tip is, and I tell people this all the time, fly in the day before.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't do that, and right. I was just telling the guy the other day that he said, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Miami. I said, you should go a day, maybe 2 days early. Right. Go ahead and enjoy Miami. Relax. If you cruise down Miami, you're cruising out of Galveston. We flew in 2 days early to Galveston, right? Because we were going to go on a cruise out of Galveston, Texas. Mm-hmm. We found out the cruise was an alternative cruise, so we canceled that cruise. Mm-hmm. But
so you just want to be prepared. Mm-hmm. The next thing, when you get to the airport, like I said, you don't always want to just be sitting there, because I get to the airport early. I don't believe in having a home alone experience where I'm running and mad dashing. So there are airport lounges.
Yep.
So if you have a certain credit card, there are lounges according to the credit cards that you have. And in those lounges, there's free food and free drinks.
I love the free food and free drinks at the lounge. They have their own bathroom.
Yes.
They have food. They have drink. They have everything in there. You can go ahead and eat your breakfast. You can eat your lunch.
And
or
there are
eat
bathrooms
your dinner.
in there.
Their bathrooms are a lot cleaner.
Yes.
And people are more attentive. Mm-hmm. In there. They're always cleaning up after everybody. They're always picking up your dishes, collecting things. And they're very attentive, and it's very clean. So always make sure you know what airport you're going to, what lounges are there. The good thing is you can look up on your airline ticket and see what
your concourse.
Yeah, what concourse you're going to be on, so that you can know what lounge is available in that concourse. That's important also.
Yeah, very important. Mm-hmm. So with there is, and you can write this down. I actually it's Priority Pass.
Yep.
That is a lounge that you can subscribe to. So they're running a special. It's like $80 or something. Yeah. But if you want, and it's for a year. But you have to pay when you get in. Or if you get like a standard fee, it's like $300 a year. But there's free food in there.
I like Priority Pass because we use Priority Pass. Mm-hmm. And after I'm done eating my breakfast, because I always fly out in the first flight if at all possible.
That's a good tip.
A good tip is first flight of the day is the flight of the day that normally will not be canceled. And if it is canceled,
you still got another one.
They'll put you on the next one, the next one. So if you book the 6 a.m., if 6 a.m. doesn't work out, unfortunately, because of everything that's going on in the world, they're going to put you on the 8 or the 9 or the 10.
Still going to get where you got to go.
You've got multiple chances. Now, if you book a 5, 6 o'clock flight, you might not have too many chances after that.
Yeah. But Priority Pass.
Priority Pass. We'll eat breakfast. We'll enjoy the lounge. And then on top of that, there's sodas. There's refrigerators full of sodas. There's bowls full of fruit, so you can gather a couple sodas, couple cans of soda,
put
some
that
fruit,
in your bag,
some bagels.
Come on,
and take all that.
Now you talking tips and tricks.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Listen,
I grab about 4 sodas. I'm not even gonna perpetrate.
It's okay. You got when you land.
Yep.
But with that, if you're using Priority Pass, because we understand it, if you go to an airport that doesn't have Priority Pass, they will give you a stipend to use there. So
Yep.
it may be like $40 because there's no Priority Pass lounge, and you can use it in a restaurant
Right.
that is in the
And
airport.
whenever we're in Houston, we go to Cadillac.
Cadillac Ranch.
Cadillac Ranch.
Yep.
It's right there. And we per person it's like $27.
Yeah, it's a good
Off
amount of
of
money.
and the food. I mean, the food is exasperated. The prices are inflated, of course.
But you get a meal.
You listen, no, but what I'm telling you is that $27 a person goes a long way. That's $60.
Yep.
You know,
It
rounded
goes a
up.
long way.
It does. We end up sitting, relaxing, having meals, and
when we went to
charge
Hawaii,
we charge all our devices. Not well, yeah. When we went to Hawaii, we did use it.
Mhm.
Also, when we were in California.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and you can recuperate. Like it's you. First of all, I don't want to be sitting around everybody, people sleeping when you're in the regular terminal.
Oh man,
it just allows you to get peace of mind inside of the lounge.
Yeah.
Were you about to share a story?
No. Yeah, people sleep in the airport. That's different for me. Like when I see people sleep in the airport, sometimes Pastor Charles comes out of me. I'm like, dude, do we need to feed the people? What can we do to help? Because I mean, people will lay on their backpacks and lay on their luggage, and they have no blanket, they have nothing, and I'm like, oh my goodness! Like,
so
I'm like, how can I help these people? Do they need a cup of coffee?
Oh Lord,
That's what happens in my mind when I'm going
Lord
through the
Jesus.
airport. I'm always so concerned.
I
about
get
the
jealous.
People.
I'm like,
You get
how do they
jealous of
sleep?
what?
Yeah, because I can't.
I
can't
Listen,
do that. And
I
I'm like,
can't sleep
how are they at
on the
peace?
floor.
How are they at peace right now, sleeping in this airport, not knowing the people there? And it wasn't until about 2017 that I understood why. One of my peers, he said, hey, I have to go ahead. I've got to get drunk. I said, what do you mean you have to get drunk? He said, I have severe anxiety. He said, so I have to have some substance in me so that when I'm flying, I don't get a nervous breakdown. So that's how them people is sleeping.
Oh, okay. We're praying for that.
We are. But if we're talking about traveling, when you get to your destination, you need a car.
You do. You need a vehicle. And one of the ways that we always rent cars is we become a loyalty member.
Yes.
That's it, man. That's the first thing you have to do. So Enterprise, Hertz, Alamo. Hertz has come in clutch. Because we use Hertz in Hawaii. We use Hertz a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Hertz, I got a great loyalty number, and we get great discount through Hertz. So Hertz is, it used to be Enterprise when my sister-in-law, when she worked at Enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Now
I'd be like, sis,
hook it up.
Book
because
that.
There's a family and friends discount.
Yeah,
just so you know, at Enterprise.
And this family friend discount at every rent. So if you have a family member that works for, don't be ashamed. Like money is money. So if you have a family member that works for Enterprise, Hertz, Alamo, and they don't mind, hey, why not?
We just
don't be ashamed.
In the Las Vegas, we had a car, and how much did we pay?
$20
for how many days?
About 3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days because we had loyalty points.
Yep, there was all the points I had accumulated through Enterprise over the years, and this was after, because you can't use your loyalty points, and you can't accumulate loyalty points when you use friends and family. That's something I want. I don't know if people know that. If you're using friends and family, you can't double dip. So, we rented from Enterprise for years, but did not accumulate points because we were using friends and family. But we rent a lot from the same company. Mm-hmm. So when we went to Vegas, I said, hey, babe, I get 3 days for free, and we only have to pay $20 for a full-size vehicle out in Las Vegas. And she was like, book it.
Yeah,
she had no problem with that $20 that we had to spend. Not at all.
No whatsoever. All right, so now we're getting down and dirty because this is my favorite part. So we want to tell you about the apps that we use when booking for travel.
Right.
So the first app that I am always scrolling on is Kayak.
Kayak.
Man, that is
Kayak.
my
That's one
absolute
of my favorite
favorite.
also. I get down with Kayak.
Kayak does your flights, it does hotels, it does cars and packages. I would rate that a 5 star.
Yeah. I like
So
Kayak, but I don't do the bundles.
no, we don't normally do
I
that.
realize that the bundles, they, like that bundle Ruski.
Bondaruski.
Don't do the bundles. Just you can check for your flights on there. And I take everything that I find on Kayak, and then I go to the actual
Website.
website for that airline. So I don't think I've ever booked
Book through
anything
Kayak.
actually on Kayak, but
Right.
Kayak is what I use for research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, I have found $350 tickets from Baltimore to Paris.
Mm.
And that's why I said I'll just sit up at night and I'm scrolling Kayak. Like, what is there? And what Kayak does that other apps don't do, which is so special to me, which is why it gets 5 stars, is if you select the date that you want to fly out, it allows you to do that and it will light up green, orange, or red.
Yeah, and
Green
I like the
means
green.
it's cheap.
Green is the $1 sign.
Green means it is cheap.
Yes, green means go.
And yes, yes,
means
it
go.
does. And
Yeah.
then you look at when the next green dot is. Like,
Yep.
and that's how you get the cheap tickets.
You go from green to green.
Right.
And then you're going to save some green.
Yeah.
You want to save some money, you go from green to green.
That they should pay us for that.
They
tip
should.
Right there.
They should.
That
They
tip
should.
right there.
Go from green to green.
Man. And so when you do that, it allows you to get the optimal bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're smart, you'll say you'll look, and because it normally runs the same with the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So if the flight is cheap, the hotel ticket is normally cheap. So when we went to Hawaii, they saw our price that we had gotten for our room, and they were like, "Do y'all have the family and friends discount? How is this so cheap?"
Yeah.
Because we
That's
booked.
Actually, they asked me, "Do you work for Hilton?"
Mm-hmm.
Because we stayed at a resort
on the beach.
And it was like 7 hotels all together, and it was immaculate. It was a nice. They even upgraded our room when we got to the counter.
Yep.
And they said, "We cannot even get these
prices ourselves.
Do you work for Hilton?" I said, "I work for God."
Yes, you did.
I told him I work for God.
Said.
I said, and God hooks me up wherever I go.
Yes, whole time we browsing.
So, AKA, pay your tithes. That's a trip.
Yes.
That's a tip right there that'll help you.
Yes.
Serve God, pay your tithes, do what you're supposed to do for God.
Yeah.
He'll take care of you. So we use Kayak. We also use Expedia.
Oh, yes. So I like Expedia for the hotel rooms.
Yep. I have booked a few hotel rooms on Expedia.
Mm-hmm. The reason I like Expedia is because Expedia will show you different prices on from different apps. And then it will allow you to not pay. You can hold your room. So you're already holding money, right? It will allow you to choose an option
where
you
now,
can
pay later.
That's it.
That's what they say.
So if you don't have the money, you can save the money until you get to the right and have it when you get there.
You know, some of y'all book trips and don't got a dime. You got 73 cents in your bank
account. That's okay though. With Expedia, you do it, boo. Okay. Make sure you got it when you get there though, because I can't come and help you.
Booking whole suites with 73 cents is crazy work.
They crazy work.
So
but it's a good option.
Expedia is good. So even when we went to Vegas, I had actually booked a rental car through Expedia, a rental car through Alamo, a rental car through Hertz, a rental car through Enter. I had booked it on 4 different sites. And then as we got closer to flying out to Vegas, I started canceling, and then kept.
That's a good thing. You can cancel. What is it, like up to 4 days before you travel?
Yeah. So just keep good records. Now don't let them hit your credit card and you be talking about, oh, I forgot about that. Now you got to have a good memory if you're gonna travel like we travel.
Yes.
But you want to use these tips and tricks, and you will save money, and you will have a better time because you'll have more money to spend while you're away. And then this the kicker. You'll have more money when you get back home to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing worse than going out on a trip, spending all your money, and then you gotta come home and eat rice. and beans. You just sitting eating rice
Oh,
and
rice and
beans.
beans is good. You better
No,
cut it out.
not when you
Listen,
ain't got no
I throw
other
down on
protein.
them. It's all
Not
right.
when beans your only
Listen,
protein, and you ain't got no chicken, you ain't got no shrimp, you ain't got no steak.
I'm okay with the rice and beans, boo. Okay, but so the other app that I'm gonna throw in because I know you got something to say, and you probably don't want to use this, but years ago there was Hotwire.
Listen, hotwire.com. I ain't heard of Hotwire in a
Listen,
long
but
time.
here's why I'm
You
gonna
still
talk about
hotwiring
it.
this
I gotta
girl?
tell y'all this story.
No,
So
don't tell
he
her.
books
Don't
all
tell
of
her.
our travel. Okay,
Listen.
I will find the good deals, and I'll be like, babe, let's do it. He will finalize, right?
Yeah.
So one time I planned the trip.
Lord.
And this is when
this
he
was
took away.
This was the worst part. It was a business trip. So there's a difference between business travel, pleasure travel, and family travel, which we'll talk about at another podcast.
Yes, but I wanted to find the cheapest price. And on Hotwire, when you were selecting your hotel rooms, there's a tier. You can tell them how much money you want to spend. And I picked the lowest tier.
Had us in a whole flop house. Had us in a flop house. I had to sleep at the door and and I had to make a shank. people were banging on doors and knocking women around, and you could hear people doing stuff in the next room. It was I got up out of there. I said, baby,
he did. He was like, we can't stay here no more.
I booked another hotel for the next 4 days. I said,
yes,
I will not ever stay. I cannot stay here.
And
you were never allowed to book our travel again. You had us up here in the flight, and it was near the airport. So try not to ever book near the airport. That's
depending upon the price point.
No, the airport
because you can hear the planes.
You hear the planes.
But my
it's
price
dusty,
point
it's dirty. No,
like
that
if
was
if I would have picked like the top tier, it would have been different.
No, yeah, and the worst part, I feel like it was this like wheel. Like somehow it was like you spin the wheel and get a deal.
So you don't know which hotel you're gonna get. You just know the price range, and then they select it for you.
Listen,
don't use Hotwire.
This was somewhere that I've never stayed and will never stay again. Let me tell you, there was a drunken cowboy running through the halls, and it was in Houston, Texas. So I'll tell you where it was,
man.
And I'm like, oh my goodness.
So don't use Hotwire.
I'm like, I don't have no time to find nobody. Get me something to be, protect my wife. I'm making sure nobody don't take my wife and drag her over the border. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I gotta make sure that I bring her back because the kids are not gonna forgive me if I don't come back with mom.
So I can't select things anymore.
Listen,
that's why I recommend and he investigate.
Because I'm frugal, but you cheat.
But here's the thing: when I was young, I was a missionary. So we would travel places and stay on cots like that. It didn't even bother. I slept the whole night in that Houston hotel.
All I hear is that song, be a missionary every day. Tell the world that Jesus is the way.
But I slept. I was lights out. And you did the next morning. I was like, you ready to go?
I didn't sleep. First of all, the mattress was trifling. The room was dirty. I used to travel with a black light until after she started using my black light. When tell them about the time we were in Galveston over in the beach, and she wanted to use my black light. She said, "Ooh, what's this?
Yeah.
Ooh, let me try the black light."
Oh,
and
man.
What did you see?
There was stuff on the wall.
A murder
They were shooting the wall, y'all. Okay.
She saw a whole.
And I scanned the bed. Like I'm like, oh no. So I'm the type person. If I don't know, I'm okay because I slept in that flop house. I ain't even gonna lie. It was lights out.
But when we went to Galveston,
and I had that black light.
She used the black light.
No.
She called the front. I need new sheets.
Yeah.
She said, I need new room.
And
I had to book.
And there was food in that fridge when we got in there.
I had to book a whole new hotel.
Yeah,
I had to book a whole new hotel.
See,
and so, have you seen the black light since?
Never.
Because
it's gone.
The black light don't even travel with us.
Never.
No more.
I don't even know where it is in the house.
Not that she knows of. I used to always use the black light.
He did.
Once she got a hold of the black light, oh, look at that. Oh, look at.
I got to do. If I
she
know.
Say, turn the lights out. Let's see.
If I know about something.
Listen, Carmen San Diego, detective first grade. Listen, no, she can't use it. All right, hotel tip.
Okay, so this is the best. Like I feel like this is where we excel the most when we take family trips. So the first thing when you are looking at your hotel, you want to see if the hotel has a breakfast that is included in the fee.
Breakfast. Yes, you know me. I'm all about some of my favorite, and I think I could tell them some of my favorite hotels.
Go
Some of my
for it.
favorite hotels ever since I've known, before I know my wife, and up until today is the Embassy Suites
Mm-hmm.
and the Homewood Suites
Mm-hmm.
because they all offer breakfast. Embassy offers that, and take it with a grain of salt because some people say they don't always make the omelet, like you want it now. Embassy makes the omelet fresh. They
Right.
allow you to select. You want some bacon, you want
Mm-hmm.
some, arugula, whatever you want in your omelet, and they make it right in front of you. So
Right.
that was always my spot. Then they got the little, sometimes they got a koi pond. They definitely got some, foliage. Embassy, like that's the spot. And Embassy has the managers. What?
Well, you're getting ahead now.
I'm.
I ain't even said my part. You trying to go to the next
Well,
part?
you go ahead. Slow
Listen,
down and back up.
listen,
Back the
Linda.
bus up.
Okay. So for the breakfast, you can do some places have like a continental. He went straight to the Embassy and the Homewood. That's
Because
like the cream of the crop. But like
because the
Comfort Inn,
continental breakfast is a little ghetto to me.
it's fine
It's
because
a
the kids is eating cereal for breakfast at home. Let them get some cereal at on the trip. Okay, I'm gonna take you out, but I'm gonna still treat you like you was a kid. So
so some of the places
some of the places.
that we have stayed with the continental breakfast are La Quinta.
Mm-hmm.
La Quinta was that
The
spot.
spot,
That spot.
especially in Texas,
Listen, in Texas,
don't even feel like you in a La
La
Quinta.
Quinta is not a bad option.
So then, like Comfort Inns have them.
Yeah, I don't stay in the comfort.
But I'm trying to give everybody.
But I just to certain places,
He
because
boo-
when I
so he
met
is
my
hotel bougie. I'm not.
when I met my wife and we started traveling together, I was like, yeah, we gotta stay at the Embassy. She was like, why would we spend $150 a night? We could stay at this and stay. I said, oh, my family ain't never stayed at those places.
Listen, I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself so I don't offend nobody.
You're not offending
But what I
nobody.
will say is that no matter where you stay, so if you stay in a hotel that's $100 and you don't have because you don't have the breakfast involved, you can take them kids over to get them a dollar breakfast sandwich at McDonald's, like or two for $3, something like that. You can make it work.
Okay.
But if you want to go, one of the things is their breakfasts are normally from like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Yep. So
they can keep going back. Check this out. They can keep going back, getting their apples, getting their yogurts, because like Embassy already has a fridge in the room.
yeah.
So you can put that in there. That's your snack for during the day if they get hungry, right? Bring you a plate, stick that in the fridge. Like you done saved yourself $20 worth of snacks for that day.
I would fill up my whole fridge. And there's no
Right.
for me, there's no shame in my game.
None. You paid for it.
I will fill up the fridge. I will go get, plates of food. I go get fruit, vegetables, yogurt.
Yes.
Drinks. I'm filling up my fridge so that when I come back from my adventures, when I come back from spending hundreds of dollars at Disney, and I come back from spending $100 wherever you are, where if you're in Houston, Texas, if you're in Cali, wherever you are, you're taking your family on adventures. You're taking them to see the world, do different things, do different events. You might be traveling for sports, football, basketball. But when you come back to your hotel, it's just like being home. You got a fridge full of snacks.
Yep.
And then everybody gets hungry in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah. And what we do is we'll get like a cold food. Like if your room has a refrigerator, then you can go and get a hoagie, you can get a sub, like you can get a salad and sit that in there. That's your dinner if you don't want to go out, right?
You may not want to go out.
Right.
You may have been exasperated from the events of the day.
There it is.
And you said, you know what? Let me see what's in the fridge. And there's so many hotels that offer full-size fridges. And Homewood offers a whole kitchen.
Yes.
So, Homewood Suites, they're going to give you a whole kitchen or kitchenette with a dining room table and everything. So you could cook if need be.
Correct. And the thing about it is, if your hotel does not have a refrigerator in there, you want to call ahead and find out, because you can request a refrigerator. They may be like $25 for your stay.
Yeah.
And you tell them, I'm breastfeeding, or I'm gonna need it to store baby milk. Like they're
Tell me
if they may
breastfeeding.
ask, they may ask.
That's funny.
But they always have them. You
I
just have
never
to
heard
pay.
that tip. That you got all the tips.
I tried.
So when we went to when we were out in Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
We called um that day before we checked in, asked about a refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
They said it was $25.
Yep, but we ended up getting
before
upgraded.
before we
You
left,
better tell it.
we were in the
A
suite.
suite.
We went from the eat to the suite.
Come on now.
Listen, we started at the bottom.
Now we here.
That's right.
Okay,
So
and the refrigerator was in that suite.
refrigerator was in the suite.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Upgrade, say, but those things happen when anything is wrong in your hotel. Do not be hesitant, and don't hesitate to express your concerns
Mm-hmm.
and to let people know what's going on. One of the reasons that we were able to get an upgrade is because our room was right next to the service elevator.
Yeah, so they moved us to a whole nother side.
Right.
But then when we got to that nicer room with a great view,
Yep.
water was coming through the light fixture.
Yeah. And so if something's wrong, electrical, something breaks, something's wrong, you let them know and they will upgrade you. Don't be like, oh, I don't want to say anything. I'll fix it myself. Listen, just because you a mechanic or just because you might be a Mr. Fix It at home, don't mean you ain't gotta be Mr. Fix It at a hotel. When you paying $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 a night, you better let somebody know what's wrong.
And the best part about that was we used our loyalty card that we had no business having.
Listen,
right? Because we stayed in a casino and we don't gamble.
we do not gamble.
But because we are Royal Caribbean Diamond members, this is a sidebar, we got a free upgrade to the MGM Gold member. The whole time I'm there.
But that was something that I had been researching.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of research and I find a lot of things out. But then you have to utilize what you know.
I flashed that gold card like nobody's business. I'm gold. I don't even gamble. I don't even earn this whole time, right? I'm like, I'm gold. I flashed that thing. They were like, oh, let me take care of you, Mrs. Morgan.
Yes.
And so, that loyalty program, when we tell you about that, we mean that.
Those loyalty programs, look, you know what? We should tell them a little bit about our past. Like back in the day when we lived in New Jersey, and we would drive up to Atlantic City.
Oh, yeah.
We would get the loyalty cards just to not pay for parking.
Yes.
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 Like, come on. Why would I pay $10, $20, $30 for parking when
all I have parking to do, free if I got a car?
All I have to do is go to this one counter and give them my name and phone number, and they're going to give me a card that makes my parking free.
We not even gambling. We eating.
First of all, not only that, we had loyalty cards for every casino in
every casino.
We would park anywhere for
anywhere. Free. Where you want to park?
Flashing that car when we drive in.
What? And then with your hotel, if you pick the right hotel, this right here is it. Some hotels have a manager's reception.
Yep.
And that's a dinner.
A dinner at night.
Dinner at night, normally between like 5 and 7, right? You got to ask about it.
Yeah.
And they'll serve you.
One place is Homewood. They serve dinner during the week. So it may be like Tuesday to Thursday.
Right.
But they serve dinner.
But you got to ask them.
But I mean like baked ziti.
Yeah.
Protein.
A salad.
They serve like drinks and everything. Like, you get you a little apple juice, a little,
soda.
Anything. But you have to know the right places to stay.
Yeah. And that's included.
And when God elevates you a little higher and you got a little bit more money, certain places like the Ritz and places like that, because you're staying at those hotels, the concierge and things of that nature are able to spend almost $2,000 on you.
I love that.
Like, so, you got to know the ins and outs of this travel. You can't just be like half cocked going off. Let me just go book a room at the Winn-Dixie and see what God going to do for me. No, you know ahead of time your perks, know ahead of time. And this is a key. This is something that I believe everybody needs to know, because it's time out for what we have been doing for years is just going places and not working out. So I believe you should always know where the gym is in your hotel.
Oh yeah.
And you should know how big the gym is, because you may get to a hotel and the gym is just a ball. What's those balls?
A medicine
A
ball or
medicine
something.
ball
Yeah.
and 2 weights and one broke down machine.
Yeah.
So I call ahead and find out, what I'll look online. No, I look online and I look at
No.
pictures to
No.
see what the gym looks
I
like.
just thought about when we booked that stay for Hawaii, we stayed on the beach. And in my mind, because I had been to Hawaii previously, in my mind, our hotel was not on the beach. Like we would have to walk to it. And I'll never forget, I called the
She called
hotel
down.
and I said,
How far is the beach?
well, how far, how many blocks do I have to walk to get to the beach?
And
And the receptionist said, the hotel is on the beach.
that woman said, "Man,"
And I was like, excuse me?
you were staying at Waikiki on the beach.
Yeah.
We walked out of the back of our hotel, and the beach was right there. We could see the beach from our we were on like the 15th floor.
And there's fireworks,
And
free fireworks.
Now, in Waikiki, every Friday,
There's free
fireworks
on
on the beach.
So that's everything.
That's everything.
Now they have to just decide where they want to go,
Yeah.
what they want their budget to be. And I think we don't hook them up today.
I think they have more information than a lot of people are giving.
Did we bridge the gap with traveling today?
I think we did bridge the gap with traveling. I think we helped out a few people.
Yes. So if you want this download, everything that we've gone over, there are 2 ways that you can get it. You can go to my husband's website is charlesmorgansenior.com.
Yeah, I'm a .com.
And then you can go to my website is stephaniemorgan.org.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to check out either one of our websites. It's under the shop area. Once you click that, you'll see it'll say traveling tips and hacks. You'll have to put your email address in, and then it will open up the download for you. Please download it so that you don't have to try to remember everything that we said. We're helping you out. We're bridging the gap.
Y'all let us know if you want more, because we have a lot more tips and tricks. Like we really do. So if you want us to shoot another one, because we might have 3 podcasts full of tips and tricks, because all we do is travel, really.
Yeah,
we love to travel, and God blesses us. Like I said, I literally went to another country on a 10-hour flight for free. So if I can do it, you can do it. Same grace on me, same grace on you.
We love you guys. We can't wait to see you in the next episode.